Man, do I have an odd one for you guys today. We're opening and building the Mega Construx Pokemon box with, why did I forget their names? Espeon and Umbreon. I see these all the time, and I'm not really a sit down and build things kind of person, but I figured I would try them out. We got these things at, they were at retail, but they weren't that expensive. And so I don't really know how this video is going to go. Because, again, I don't usually have patience for building things. There's a reason I don't do Lego. It's also weird that Pokemon works with Mega Construx and not Lego. But yeah, a lot of these sets are, like, oddly expensive. They're, like, Lego prices, but I guess that's more of just the Pokemon tax. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and get into building my first ever Pokemon Mega Construx box. Alright, let's open this thing up. I don't really know what this little, ball thing here is, but I guess we'll find out whenever we build it. So it should be noted that I have built something on this channel. I don't remember what it was now. Oh yeah, it was like a Charizard thing. It wasn't a Mega Construx thing, though. This looks a lot like Lego. So we have a few bags here. But yeah, last time I did a build thing, it was kind of hard to record. So hopefully this one can go better, and I won't have to try and like splice the video together. So I guess the Umbreon is up first. I can't figure out which bag we need. Okay, I'm assuming it's this one, but it looks like it has other things in it too, so it really doesn't help me, but I can see Umbreon's ears are clearly in this bag, so let's just kind of... Oh, and face. Yeah, so that's the face of our little boy. Also, I have to go to work soon, so I'm just kind of gonna try and do what I can before I have to go to work. Oh, what we need is not in this one. These bags don't seem to be, like, organized in a good way. Okay, so it looks like what I need is in here. These are not very clear instructions. Alright, pour this bag open too. And it looks like this just snaps in right there. Although it's not really going in, is it? Oh, there it goes. Okay, and then we just need to put one more on top of it. It has to be 2 layers of thickness. I'm looking for a tube with a hole in it, and I've found some tubes, but I'm not finding tubes with holes. Oh my god, I have to open the third bag. You think that they would have these bags for, like, one for Umbreon, one for Espeon, one for, like, the decorative land piece. Alright, so this tiny little rod goes into it, and then that goes onto our circle with the rod facing away from our brick. Right like that. So now we have, like, a little gun-looking thing here. I'm guessing this can, like, turn? Yeah. Okay, then we have these 2 round pieces, which seem to be pretty simple. They just kind of snap into the sides of our circle to kind of fill out the edges of it. Ah, shit. I just popped everything off. Yeah, like I said at the start of this, I am not a... I don't have the patience for this kind of stuff usually, so I'm trying my best here, alright? Because these things might actually end up being kind of cool. Alright, so now it looks even more like a gun, especially if, like, flip it around. There you go, now it's in focus. It's like a little sentry. Oh, then we actually need Umbreon's face next. Okay. And it goes with this direction, it looks like? No, okay, you want his nose facing the little gun thing. Bam. So we can call it quits here. We just have a little Umbreon balloon. I mean, I'm not too upset with it. And we take these little rods and insert them into the bottom of the ears. So I'm guessing that allows them to, like, bend and move. And then those just kind of simply just pop in. Yeah, okay. Again, it's hard to keep things focused. That's why I'm saying recording these kind of videos is kind of difficult unless you're doing, like, a time lapse from, like, above or something. But the ears literally just kind of pop in there, and it looks a little funky. It looks almost like an Egyptian fox kind of deal. There we go, that's a bit better. You can kind of like wiggle them around. Okay, this part seems to be pretty self-explanatory. We're basically just making like a 2-sided computer mouse is the best way to think of it, it seems, because you have like I'll show you. So yeah, we just have like a little 2-sided computer mouse. Kind of makes sense with that description, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so these little ball pieces lock into the edges there. Looks a bit more like Boba Fett's weird ship. And then a single block goes right there in the center. And then we basically just copy the little ball thing from the other side. And we kind of lock it in with these 3 long pieces. I'm actually getting kind of lower on pieces. I'm kind of surprised at how quickly this is coming together. At least that's how it looks anyways. As a man with very little patience, this is kind of going faster than expected. Like, the amount of pieces I have left are not that crazy. Alright, so this is where things start to get a little weird. This has to snap onto our 4 pieces here. Okay. That looks right. And then this just goes on the back 4. Gotcha. This is just looking real weird. Again, sorry about the focusing. I'm trying my best here. Alright, so then the side with the yellow circle on it, we put this little arm-looking doodad on, and this side we put our little foot-looking piece on. I'm guessing that is supposed to be a foot. And then that snaps into, if this is the back, then this will go right here. Bam, we have an Umbreon foot. And then it looks like we basically just repeat that step for the other side. Bam, we have 2 of Umbreon's legs. Right now, it just looks really weird. I can't explain. This looks so wrong. Alright, the next step, here on step 12, it looks like we're going to be adding the back legs onto it. But it is officially time for me to leave for work, sadly. So I'm going to have to finish this video. I'm guessing tomorrow morning before I go to work again, but I'll have more time then, because I'm crazy and wake up super early. Wow, does it really go straight over to Umbreon after that? Like, Espeon, we don't get to finish Umbreon yet? I'm not seeing the finishing parts for Umbreon. Like, that is the last page. Unless there's... Okay, they were stuck together. Okay, so I was like, why would we not just finish it out? Okay, well, I'm nearing the end. I'm on step 12 of 15, so Umbreon's already almost done. That is fast. That is, like, doable for somebody like me. Alright, we'll come back in another part after I go to work, come home, go to bed, wake up, and continue. Alright, it is officially the next day. I went to work, I did my job. I came home, I went to bed, and I got back to this. Now, actually, last night when I got home, before I went to bed, I actually organized these a little bit. It doesn't look that organized, but trust me, it is. And as we can see here, there are not many Umbreon pieces left. I have them all right here on the left side of the screen. Alright, so this little piece seems to be identical on both sides. But you have a peg that goes through one end, and you have a little grabber boy that goes through the other end. So there's that, and then this goes on to here, and then a foot goes on to that. Luckily, I can just spin the foot to rotate it like on the other ones. And then that disconnects straight onto the body on this side. Bam. Alright, simple enough. Looks a little weird. Okay, good, you can push that up more. Perfect. Alright, that's not too bad, and I actually have the foot on the right way, along with the little yellow marking. And now we have a hind leg. It's almost like a rabbit's hind leg, honestly. This just still looks odd to me. So I guess I get to do the exact thing again. Alright, so now we have all of our legs on. Sorry, it is just not wanting to focus on this thing. So we have all of our legs on here, and it looks like the next part is actually pretty simple. We take our head, we shove it in that hole, and we are nearly done. All we have to do is insert our little grabber piece into the tail, just like that. And then that pops onto this little ball on his back end. And bam, we have an Umbreon. So I gotta say, this thing doesn't look too terrible. It's a pretty neat little idea. So obviously our tail here can move in any direction. Our ears can move, the head can move, the legs can move. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's mostly just so you can position it onto a platform, which we do actually have. But cool, that is a finished Umbreon. He's going out of focus again. We're just going to leave that little guy back there. Alright, let's get to work on the Espeon, who has a very similar starting process here. Alright, so we need the round thing with the hole in it. Where did I put those? And we just take a peg, put it through the hole. So yeah, it looks like so far, it's going to be like the same process. Now this is like the most interesting piece in this thing. It's kind of like floppy. And I think it's supposed to be the ears. But it goes on here somehow. Yeah, okay. I mean, it looks a little odd, but we have our Espeon ears. They're like made out of rubber. Oh yeah, I guess those aren't ears. That's like the weird hair thing Espeon has, which I never really paid attention to until now. And yeah, it just feels kind of odd to me that it has those, like, single tufts of hair coming out of the side of its head. But, okay, so now that we have the actual ears on, this is where we are at. Alright, so our double-sided mouse clicker is also the same. The gaps are a little bit more bad on this one, to be honest with you. I'm going to be cutting a lot out of this Espeon one, obviously, because there's a lot of the exact same stuff over and over. Alright, so the next step is done. It looks like we have the assembly for the body and legs started. Yeah, still basically the same as the Umbreon. Some of these pieces, when you put them in wrong, it really sucks to try and take them out. Honestly, having a small pair of tweezers like this, it can kind of get in between into the little crevices on the plastic is probably going to be pretty essential to correcting any mistake you make building with this crap. Alright, we now have our little bug-looking piece. It's getting there. It's rounding out pretty well, and that's obviously where our head is going to go. And now we get straight to work on the legs, which luckily, it doesn't have, like, patterns on its legs, so I don't have to worry about trying to, like, rotate things to make them look better. I think I did a fair amount of that off-camera on the Umbreon. Oh, they couldn't give the guy actual feet. He just has, like, a straight pig. There's not even any kind of, like, extra color going on. That is kind of sad, but it also does make it easier, I suppose. Alright, we got 2 legs on him. It looks like the back leg... Well, it looks like the back legs are probably going to be an identical process. My camera's starting to overheat a bit, so I'm going to let it cool down while I do these back legs. It's the same process, there's no point in repeating it here. Alright, this little dude has a lot of parts for his tail. So obviously it is all purple. There's no other decals going on than what's on the face. But I went ahead and popped his head in. I got his 2 back legs done rather quickly because they're identical. And with no decal being on it, means I don't really have to worry about orientation as much. But this tail has so many things going on. So I need the main branch of this little Y-splitter. And then that has 2 of these like extending pieces going off of it. And then a little cap that goes on the end. So that's the first thing. That looks inappropriate. Alright, so then only 2 extenders go on that one, and then it's the same story we do... Is it 2? So now we have its weird end of its forked tail, but we have more to build onto. So we put a peg in the bottom of the tail. I'm just going to do it back here where it's kind of in focus, and just zoom in on it. So a peg goes in the back of the tail, and then it goes to one of these elbow curved pieces. It doesn't show which way it's supposed to curve, which is odd. Okay, so elbow curved piece. It looks like it's almost supposed to be going inward, but it's really hard to tell the way this thing is laid out. Then we do another peg. Then we do another elbow macaroni piece. Then we do the grabbing arm into that. So it looks like I have that part correct, where it kind of arcs straight up. And then this one almost goes to the side. Let's just pop it on and see how it looks. Alright, a little bit of adjustment to the tail, mostly just bending it at different angles. We finally have our Espeon, and yeah, that tail has a lot of parts going into it, but nothing complicated at all, just kind of pops straight in. Put my hand back here, try and focus the camera on it. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. If I ever get to do one of these videos again, I will film it better. I want to have a camera here, but then I'll either put my phone here or put my main camera up, or the other way around. Whichever camera looks better from above. So you can have a top-down view of the entire thing, and I have a feeling a lot of it's going to be recorded on that. If anything, I'll use this expensive camera for that. And my phone, which actually does have... I have the communist dog pop socket on here. Probably not the most appropriate given what's going on now. But I have a pretty good camera set up on this thing, and it focuses pretty fast. So I'd probably have it here to actually record this shot, because it would keep it in focus better. But, I mean, this is a pretty good little trial run of how not to record this kind of thing. Alright, now we're on to the grass crap. So we got this little thing with a hole in the center going right there in the front. Then we have 2 solid bricks right next to it. Can I call these bricks? It's not Lego. Am I allowed to call them bricks still? And then we have this little piece with a ball on the end for usually hinges is what I've seen so far. Is this also going to be like a hinged piece? And then 2 of these little leaf boys kind of sticking off the edges right here. Then we have a long one that kind of connects them all together so they're not going to go falling apart. Add some stability. Then we get 2 little arches, and we put a single row back right on the edges, arcing out towards the edge. And then this shoves into that, it looks like. Yeah, okay, it goes that way. And then things get a little weird. So we have this little clear piece, which I thought was actually like, not a part of this, that just somehow ended up on my desk. No, it very much is a part of it. Ah, I thought I was missing a piece there for a second. So you have this little circle that goes on one end. Then you have a tube that goes on it, and an arm that goes on that tube. Then we take our little sunburst looking piece, and we put another sunburst looking piece right there in the center of it.
like this. Then this connects. There's not really any top or bottom, so it can just kind of go in any way. Okay, yeah, that works so far. Then this goes on the backing. Oh, it doesn't push together anymore, so there's like this weird like gap in the center. It looks like a sucker to me, but okay. Then that connects onto our little ball here at the back, so you can kind of raise it up. Then we have two more little leaves that go right here at the front. You think they would have had us do that earlier. And that's it. So we have this thing, and this has like little patterns on it. I think my brightness is probably too high to show it. Yeah, you have like a weird like little pattern on that. I can probably adjust it in post to make it more visible to you guys. And then on the other end, you have like, it's almost like a sun. It's kind of weird looking. And the thing is, this platform isn't really big enough. I mean, I guess I can kinda put one of them on it. Kind of. Alright, I won't say it was easy to do, but I got Espeon on there. One of his legs won't attach. Actually, I think two of them aren't quite attaching. This platform is not big enough to actually put them on. So what's the point in the platform? But I mean, displaying it from the side kind of works, right? Because you can kind of just spin that. And it makes these leaves feel a little pointless when this is supposed to be like the front of it. But it works. So, again, this was a very odd recording process. I know I could have done things a lot better. It's kind of things that I realized along the way. As far as the actual building process and the finish, these look pretty cool. I think, obviously, a just figure would be better. But these are really unique at the very least, which I know kind of sounds like a double-edged sword there, and that's kind of because it is. They definitely feel like, you know, a bit nicer because you actually assembled them. And I don't know, there's something else I can't quite put I can't put my words on that I like about these when it comes to just the way that they look in this kind of blocky but still kind of round structure. It's just weird. But as far as like the actual build process, I mean, this was fast. This is a lot faster than I expected it to be. Whenever I built like that Dragonite and Charizard figures a long time ago, they were originally going to be in one video. I had to split it in two because they took so long to do, and I hated the process. And yeah, they look cool in the end, but I don't know. I feel like this is just so much more achievable for somebody with very little patience like me. If you're like a Lego person, or you even build, you know, other similar things like Gunpla, then this will be nothing to you. This will be easy to do. It's a fun little thing to collect. It might give you a few minutes of fun as far as the actual building goes. But for somebody like me, who doesn't usually have the patience for this kind of stuff, it really wasn't bad, and I'll actually consider picking it more in the future. Is it going to be a mainstay of the channel? I don't know. I would like to do at least one more with a better recording setup. Again, using this camera to record the actual set from the angle that you're seeing now, because it'll focus a lot better than this thing will. Then have this on an arm above, which is hard to do, but I've got it working in the past. I've been able to do it in the past. You just have like a weird tripod legs coming down here, which really ruins the set a little bit. But I kind of want to try doing at least one more in that style and see how the video turns out. And then if I enjoy that, maybe I'll do more after that. But as of right now, I don't have any more, so if I decide I want to do a second one of these things, it's not going to be anytime soon. I'd have to actually go find one that I like and not go bankrupt on it, because I'm obviously more into the cards and some of the other things than I am these. But they are pretty cool, and I do recommend at least trying one of these out if you are a big Pokeboy fan, because again, it's not that bad to do. The biggest issue is the expense. But like I said, these ones were not that bad. Like, as far as price goes, they had a Corviknight there, and it was like 50 or 60 bucks, and I really wanted the Corviknight, but over these, but these are more affordable for me just trying out something I've never done before. And you know what, screw it, just to end off the video, because I didn't really technically open anything, I built something. We're gonna open one of these things. I end up getting more of these, even though I've done like a video on them. I have more just for the sake of throwing in randomly, because again, I was able to get them for a good price. These are the action flips. This is like the second series of them. And we are missing, I think, like 20 or 30 from the set, which is more than expected. But let's just go ahead and go through, see what we have. I don't remember what ones we already have, but I actually don't know if we have the Roselia. Actually, I think we do. Next up, we have the Love Disc, which I actually don't believe we have already. and the Cascoon and Dustox, which I know for 100% we do have. These things are pretty cool. I'm probably going to throw these in the occasional video, because I have a couple more of these packs that I'm kind of just saving to spice up things a little bit like this. But, yeah, I think the Love Disc is new. I have a list on my computer, because I'm that much of a nerd. Either way, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If this is your first time watching my channel, I'm sorry. I normally try to be more entertaining than this. This is just a new experience for me. Not that new, because I did do the Dragonite and Charizard thing, but it wasn't the same set, and I really didn't know anything of what I was doing back then, because I'm still... I look back at the content I made like a month ago, and I hate it. So... It's hard going back and trying to do something similar, something I've done in the past. When I did it was like half a year ago or more. It's kind of hard to get my mind wrapped around it. If I was smart enough, I would have gone back and watched those videos to see what I did wrong. But now, next time I go to do one of these, I most definitely will go back and figure out exactly how I can do this better. So again, if it's your first time watching me, give me another shot, watch something else, and hopefully I will see all of you next time. Goodbye for now.